Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Patha. We have another really fun build video for you guys, and this time we're going to be on Warlock. Yes, Titans, I'm sorry. I'm putting down the crayons for this one. I'm putting on the dress. I apologize, but it's the way it's got to be. We are on Prismatic Warlock, and this is going to be a Fallen Sunstar build. And you're probably wondering, what the hell? These two shouldn't be in the same build. You know, you don't see it very often. But I want to show you something I thought was really fun. So let's get straight into it. So to start things off, we were on Storm Trance. The reason for this is so when we get our elemental pickups, it'll be Ionic Traces. And that's how Prismatic works, is it's based off the super that you have equipped. We're running Phoenix Dive. The reason for this is I think in higher level content, it's better than Rift, and it's more consistent. Incinerator Snap for ignitions and Scorch, and then we're using Cold Snap Nade, and I will get into the specifics in a moment here. And then we got Weaver's Call for Threadlings whenever we use our Phoenix Dive, and then we have Feed the Void for Devour, which gives us grenade, energy, and additional health. Moving on to Fragments, we have Faceted Balance. So this states whenever we defeat targets with light damage, it will give us melee energy, and then with darkness damage, it's grenade energy. Faceted Awakening. Rapidly defeating targets with light or darkness damage will give us an elemental pickup of the damage type. So in this case, it'll be Ionic Traces, and if we use our Stasis, it'll be Stasis Shards, which will get extra melee energy. Faceted Hope. While we have an elemental buff, our class ability regenerates more quickly. So when we have Amplified, we get our class ability faster. This makes our melee radiant, and then this makes us do more damage to frozen targets via the Cold Snap Nade. So that is it for the subclass setup. Now let's move on to the weapons. So for the kinetic slot, I am running Shattering Bone. I love this thing. It's got kinetic tremors. I recommend having a kinetic weapon with kinetic tremors. You could run a darkness weapon if you want, but I personally don't want to do that. And then the main focus is the energy slot right here, being Delicate Tomb. And then we have Promemoria with Demo and Frenzy. Whatever role you feel comfortable with, I recommend having a strand weapon or a stasis weapon in your slot. I really like this machine gun, so I'm going to be running that. Moving on to the armor mods. So to get into it, these are the stats I recommend. Strength being the main focus, class being the second, grenade being the third, and then health being the fourth. You don't need to pump these above 200. I don't think it's necessary, but having that maximum cooldown is really what is important here. So moving into the helmet specific, we are running hands-on special ammo finder. So this will give us more generations towards the special ammo meter, contributing towards keeping this full. Moving to the gauntlets, we have firepower, or heavy-handed, sorry. And this will give us orbs of power whenever we kill enemies with our melee. This will reduce our melee cooldown when we do damage with a grenade, and this will reduce our grenade cooldown when we do damage with our melee. So these are two work really well, especially in an ability spam scenario. Moving on to the chest piece, we are running 2 arc ammo generations. And the reason for this is so we can get a lot of special ammo. We're never not having special ammo because you're pretty much only using Delicate Tomb. And then charged up. That way we can have 4 armor charges instead of 3. Moving on here. You know it. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I'm a elemental charge glazer. Like, I will rub one out to this perk till I die. And this is for Ionic Traces. Sometimes we'll get it from our Stasis Shards, but for the most part, it's the Ionic Traces, and we're going to get those armor charges via this mod right here. Arc Weapon Surge, pretty self-explanatory, and then Harmonic Scavenger. We'll get extra ammo from those pickups. And then last but not least, we have the Bond. We are running Special Finisher, so if we aren't getting enough ammo, we have enough armor charges to do that. And then we have Powerful Attraction, so whenever we dive with our Phoenix Dive, we'll get orbs that we created. We'll be able to pick them up. And then Time Dilation, we'll just have longer armor charges. So that is it for the armor setup. Moving on to the artifact. Now the artifact isn't as involved in this build as other builds, so I'm just going to go over the specific ones you should have on. I would have on Divineer's Discount, so Scav mods are discounted. I would have Elemental Benevolence, granting allies an elemental buff gives class ability energy. And then we have Refresh Threads. When we pick up our Ionic Traces, we'll get ability energy. And then we have Elemental Coalescence. Defeating targets gives us Ionic Traces, or has a chance to. Radiant Shrapnel. When we deal sustained damage while Radiant, we'll get a bunch of Scorch-like projectiles. That's always nice. And then Shield Crush. While we're amplified, our grenade is going to recharge faster and do more damage. This build has a lot of elemental buffs. We'll have Devour, we'll have Radiance, we'll have Amplified, Restoration. We'll have a lot of stuff. Kind of freeze these guys. Nuke that champion. As you can see, we haven't run out of ammo yet. And if you look down at that bottom bar, it is generating pretty consistently. So I think this build is pretty strong in solo-oriented content. But pretty much any build you could bring into any activity. It really just depends on your playstyle. Got our Transcendence. So we get Transcendence pretty fast, so utilize it every time you get it. You should never not pop Transcendence. Alright, so when we get in this room, I'm going to open up with a Cold Snap nade, just for preference. So I'll throw that down. Incinerator Snap. Pop this. We got a Tangle, why not? I'll kind of start doing damage to the boss. Pop my Cold Snap. Pop my class item. Pop my Cold Snap. Incinerator Snap. Got my class item. And so on. You see, you just loop abilities. That's all there is to it. Okay, the boss spawned in. I'm going to use that. You can see we haven't run out of special ammo. You know what? Why not? We'll just grab this. Pop that. Freeze. Kind of show you. Pop that. Then I'll start kind of, laying into the boss. We're getting low, so I'll try and get Ionic Traces. Got Transcendence again. I'll pop my Threadlings. Incinerator Snap. The rest is history. It's just ability chaining, that's all this is. It's the name of the game. Alright, so we're on Starcross just to show you kind of how this build plays in a more fireteam oriented activity by yourself. I'll throw this down. Power class item. Freeze. Pop incinerator snap. Pop class item. Pop that. Got her devour to proc. Build snout. Getting a bunch of special. Got that radiance, so I'm able to shoot right through that shield. Pop the finisher. Throw that. Pop incinerator snap. Pop the class item. Alright, so that about sums it up for the build video. I want to thank you guys for watching. It's been a lot of fun these last few days doing these build videos. If you enjoyed, drop a comment and let me know what you think of the build. And I will catch you all in the next one. Deuces.